Alright, so this is gonna be kind of a scuffed video because if I have to be honest, I don't really have time to edit because it's exam season and I'm playing Twisted Leagues, so I need all the time I can to catch up to the people who can play all day because hell knows I can't. But I wanted to voice some of my issues with Twisted League, and I don't mean to be overly negative because there are a lot of aspects of Twisted League I do like how the relics change your gameplay, especially when you're trying to like rush points. So you like do things that aren't necessarily efficient in the macro sense in order to like just rush the points for a relic. So I there are a lot of points I do like about Twisted League, but I feel like those points have already been talked about a lot by other content creators or like streamers or like on Reddit. So I want to focus on a lot of the negative aspects that most people aren't talking about right now. So what are the problems I do have with Twisted League? Well, some of the just in terms of like the gameplay, some of the main problems I have, I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like a lot of it was balanced based around the fact that the J mods were testing it in their offices but weren't really paying attention to like how it might feel to play in the actual game, or rather like not main game, but like when you're actually in the Twisted Leagues of other players. They didn't really understand how it would feel. Like the amount of times I've been unintentionally crashed, or not crashed, I can't say crashed, or griefed. And it's not like I'm complaining about people, oh, they take my iron ore spot, right? Because like that's fair, it's competition. But like I'm talking about stuff where it's like you're just literally being griefed, and it's not even intentionally griefing. Like it's not their, well, it is their fault, but it's like they don't know what they're doing, and it fucks you up as a result. Some examples I can think of for this would be stuff like when you're at a tithe farm and people decide to plant shit in the middle. That is, there's no reason for that. Like, what the hell are you doing? There's no reason for you to plant in the middle, but all it does is grief you. Other example, sulfur mining. Taking damage is bad, and you take damage from people who are around you taking damage. So why don't people just stand on top of each other to take as little damage as possible? People don't do that. Like I think they just don't know what to do, which is fine. But it's like annoying because like in the main game, if players are being inefficient, then whatever, they're being inefficient, right? Like they can play how they want to play. But in this game, there's so many different ways that people can grief you intentionally or unintentionally by playing inefficiently. And it's just super annoying because I feel like when they playtested in their offices, they never had to deal with this. So like they never changed the system to work around this. Another one was fire staves. That one's more of a competition thing, but that's just an awful experience trying to get a fire staff for Winter Tote. Just like little things like that are completely awful, and I could make a huge list of them, but I'll make this video like 10 minutes on just from that list. But moving on to the more pressing issue, and I think this is the one that's gonna hurt my experience of Twisted League more in the long run, is that the ranking system is shit. It actually sucks so much. Like, so they use this percentile based system, right? Of like, if you're better than a certain percent of players, then you get the rewards for that tier. And it's in League of Legends, chess, stuff like that. And it makes sense there because like it's all skill based and you can play a lot of games to even out your RNG. But my problem with that in Twisted League is that first, it only lasts 2 months. Your progress isn't really that skill-based. Like, there's a few skill-based tasks, like the Chambers of Xeric speedruns. But other than that, it's a lot of RNG. Like, obtain these pets. If you get those pets early on in the game, you get such a huge lead that just snowballs because you get the relics earlier. Golden Tench, like that stuff too. It's just so messed up. And overall, from a competitive aspect, I think Jagex did an awful job, if I have to be honest. Because, like, the secret's out right now. If you pick anything other than skilling as a path to go down, and you're like competing for points, you're an idiot. Like, I'm sorry, but you're straight up trolling if you don't pick stuff like 2 times XP. What other relics are really good? Like, if you don't pick one of these 2 relics on tier 3, if you don't pick this one or this one on tier 2, and if you don't pick Endless Endurance, this one's actually a pretty well balanced one. It's like these two are pretty well balanced with each other, and they go down different paths. So this is the only tier that I actually like the relics for, because it's two different paths that you want to go down, and it's not like this one where it's like the same path just with different skills. And on tier 3, it's like the 2 times XP one. If you don't pick that one, you're just low-key trolling. And I don't want to sound harsh, because I know there's a lot of reasons to pick the Xerix Focus one, because like if you want to raid and stuff. But like strictly from a competitive sense, if you don't pick the 2 times XP one, you're like at such a big disadvantage in terms of getting points. And I don't think that'd be a problem if the rewards worked differently, because the way that the rewards work is that you just want to do whatever it takes to get the most amount of points possible. But I think they should have just copied Diablo's style and gone with the style of you get rewards based on the tasks you do, where it's like for people who haven't played Diablo, it's like there's a certain amount of mandatory tasks that are easy to do, and then when you get to the higher tiers of rewards, there's a pool of optional tasks, and you have to do a certain amount of those optional tasks. And I think that'd be a way better way to handle the rewards, because then because the reason I'm so pissed about this is because I wanted to go in to raid, and like I wanted to like compete for points and stuff too. But the problem is, like, if I want to raid, I pretty much have to give up competing for points. And you know, I can still do solo raids and stuff like that, but it's like you do them like once, or maybe until you get one unique to get the points, because you're not getting those time challenges, like the speedrun challenges, if you don't straight up go for raids like stuff like Xerix Focus. So you know, it's the path I wanted to go down, to just do skilling, but you know, I shouldn't be forced to go down that path if I want to compete, you know, which is just kind of sad to me, because I feel like this was a game mode about how you should figure out your own way, figure out like the way you want to play and pursue that path. But it just sucks that it's balanced so poorly, because you can't really choose what way you want to choose. And either Jagex fix the balances in the next like league, which I don't think they'll do, because I don't want to sound offensive, but the JMods don't really know that much about the game, so they don't know like what's possible and what's reasonable or what the average player will get. So I don't think that's going to happen. So what I think needs to happen is they need to change the way the rewards work, so players don't feel forced to going down a certain path if they want to compete. Another idea that could work is another thing from that Diablo does, where for leaderboards, they have leaderboards for like everything, like first to do a certain thing, person who has the most amount of things done. So like for Twisted League, for example, what they could have done is add Cox points to the leaderboards, like the Chambers of Xeric points you get in a raid. Stuff like Hydra Casey, you know, just stuff like that. Add those to the leaderboard, or collection log filled, and just give trophies to like the top of each position in the leaderboard, including like skills and stuff, and then maybe like cut down the amount of trophies to give for each one, so like not top 1%, maybe 0.1%, just like balance out the fact that they're giving out so many trophies. I know I rambled on a lot, but I had a lot on my mind that was really bugging me, and it's kind of annoying me that people weren't talking about it, because like everyone's just freaking out about how good Twisted Leagues is, and I'm just saying, like, from a competitive aspect, it's actually pretty bad, and I just wanted to voice my thoughts on like what I think Jagex could improve, because I enjoy the concept of Twisted League because I play a lot of Diablo 3, but it just could be done so much better for the more hardcore or competitive players, because I want to be competitive without having to know life. I know I can't reach the top ranks if I don't know life, but at the same time, I shouldn't be locked out of competing just because I can't know life stuff, and I shouldn't be locked out of doing content that I want to do just because the rewards say, you know, if you want a certain reward, then you can't play in that way. And, you know, thanks for listening to my rants. If you wanted a summary of what I said, Twisted Leagues are a good concept, but the tasks are balanced really poorly, and they really should change the reward system in order to like make all the tasks worth doing for at least someone, you know? Alright, but thank you for listening to my rant. Have a good day. Hope you guys are enjoying this Twisted League. I'm sorry, I was planning on making more content for this, but I really don't have the time to, with school, studying, projects, stuff like that, and trying to get Dragon Rank on Twisted League. But, you know, bear in there. I hope we get more content in the main game so I can make more videos too. And see you all next time.